you down to Jamaica. This one is called Last Night Memories. Good morning to Miss Nadine Sutherland. Good morning, Nadine.
Oh my God, good morning.
How are you?
Good morning, Nadine. How is everything?
My set more,
Repeat that.
I need to put that song in my set.
Because
I think people like it, so I'm going to put it in my set now.
It brings back memories, huh?
Yeah, man, it surely does. Surely does.
The year was 1979, and as I said before, ladies and gentlemen, if I may say, she is indeed a young veteran. She has been around this business for over 30 years, but yet still she remains young and tender. Nadine, how are things? How are things going?
Everything is wonderful, I am, a new song, I'm a blog I did with my professor. That has taken on a life of its own. So, it's like almost like I came out of school, came out of my master's.
Go ahead, Nadine.
I came out of school and just like decided that I'm going, like 100% in the music business, start recording again. And it's like the universe is saying this is the right direction that you're taking in your life. So I'm pretty excited, back on stage, I'm performing and, doing my recording and just doing my stuff. I just feeling, I'm like writing this chapter of my life now. So I have this really like, when you're excited and your energy is just like, that's how I feel right now, excited.
Take us back to the year 1979. That's been a long time, long before I was born. Take us back, Nadine. You've been in this business. You've been on stages since. You, as a matter of fact, I mentioned to someone this morning that you were going to be our very special guest for Mic Check. And the first thing that came out of the person's mouth was child prodigy. Now, 9 years old, 1979. Nadine Sutherland is on stage. Why music? What was it like for you then?
Yes, music is natural for me. Music is like breathing. Music is like eating. Music is like a function that I just did and still do. It's not something that is outside of me. I can't. Like my earliest memory of myself is singing and dancing. So I can't even say why music. It's almost like music chose me. It's almost like music and the arts just saw me, and I was just like, it was just something that was natural and instinctive. Look, I'm always tell people, I used to just like watch NDTC on TV. So I know my mother, I don't know the story, but my mother said look like my auntie Carmen go club or pass in a go club. So my granny asked me one day, said, where you want to turn? Right. And poor me not understand nothing. And that's brightly with gusto. Look for my grandmother and tell her I want to run go dance.
That's it.
So for the rest of my life, she watched me out of one corner of her eye. One corner of her eye, she has been watching me for years. And I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
So I guess I never turned out as badly as I promised.
Not at all.
Thought when I said that.
Not at all, because, Anthony attended school up the street from where you went to school at St. Andrew High School. And I think Anthony was one of those guys who, as a young, Anthony, can I say this? As a young boy, used to hang out at the gate of St. Andrew High School hoping to meet Nadine Sutherland.
Listen to me hear all of them stories. I can't believe it, because it's like in my life, nobody not step up and say anything to me. And as a child star, basically, nobody step up. But, when you hear, big man like Anthony, that's brave enough to say, Anthony, hello.
Christmas start.
Christmas start, man.
Why, you're making me blush right now. But yeah, man, Nadine was definitely one of the big stars out of Jamaica back in the 70s.
When I was a child, and I'm saying, then why didn't I have a boyfriend? I bet. Oh, no, still a bad man.
Why, I tell you.
She was too protective.
Yeah, man. Nadine.
Very protected.
Nadine, you became a child star right around the same time when Junior Tucker, a young Junior Tucker, was also a child star. Now, oftentimes over the years, you find, especially here in America, child star actually just take their own time, Breadman, and they fade away. But you have remained relevant in a male-dominated business. The journey has been a long journey for Nadine Sutherland. And certainly when you listen to your vocals, when you listen to some of these songs that you have put out there, they're just some great songs. And last year, Marcia Griffith celebrated 50 years in reggae music. you are not far away from that, but you're still a young lady. Now, how do you, how is it you're able to still sustain in this business and you see where the music is going? How do you sustain?
You know what I think it is? I was thinking about it seriously, and I think I take it seriously, but not that seriously. I think that is why I sustain it. Music is such an instinctive, natural thing for me. I can never leave it. So sometimes I take time out to develop myself. So I make sure my self-esteem does not revolve around being famous, although I guess I'm very famous, and I had to accept that in my 20s when they were rumoring and slandering me. But I don't make my self-esteem revolve solely around that in terms of public validation. I know one day them like you and another day them not like you.
Right.
So what I did, and I never even knew I was doing it, but I went and I became, and people, when the time when I turned a certified dance aerobic fitness instructor, I was doing that to get away from fame in Jamaica, because at that time I was being slandered. Unfortunately, a lot of people took up the story and you mash up and all of that, but anyway, because I was supposed to be like totally on drugs or, at the heights of my career. So having that and being able to dance almost every day, and just like to have that to focus on helped me to just like take my mind away from it. So it's always that I'm doing something. I come back to Jamaica, I'm writing apart from the music. I go back to school. So I'm always doing stuff that brings me, that validate me as just a human being, than validate me as a singer, which I am a singer. And sometimes some people look at me and say, Nadine, it's like sometimes you're in denial about who you are. I am not in denial about who I am.
Right.
I'm very realistic of what, who I am, but I'm not going to be consumed by what comes with that. So I think that is what has enabled me to just stand up looking healthy, stand up strong, stand up performing the way I'm performing and still producing music and not being burnt out or bitter or, I think that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to the young, soulful veteran reggae singer, babyface Nadine Sutherland. It is Mic Check. It is Groovin Radio on a Saturday morning.
My baby face, you got a cute baby face. This is for my baby face. Yeah. Now listen now.
You can only take it step by step. And Nadine, as I said earlier on, as a child star, there's a lot of pressure in this business.
There is.
I want you to take us through, because Anthony mentioned something very interesting about when you met Professor Rex Netherford and what transpired after that, going back to school and everything. But take us through the journey after leaving St. Andrew High School. Your career is now blooming. It's blossoming, as they say.
It wasn't really blooming and blossoming because it's my story is... I think it's very unorthodox in the typical trajectory of people's story. Because I'm a famous child star and unaware of being so popular because I was living a normal life. My parents ensured, and, sometimes you look at it and I'm like, how protective my family was. I never really my life revolved around going to school, going on stage, going to church. And that was it. I'm in Above Rock with my father and my mother. My mother go away with my father, my auntie them, and my granny them, and all of that. That was basically my life. So I am this famous little girl, but I very, very insular. And I respect my father for that, because guess what? Me never even know my body. I was a typical girl. You have some man that watch the mango and I watch the mango tree and ready to pick the mango, but there was a serious rat with a lot. Step on the corner, watch him and say, yo, oh. So that was very, very good. And then I transitioned, and after high school, I went to Exeter. So I'm living a student life where I'm supposed to be popular, but not really recognized and not really embroiled in the world of showbiz. And I think that was a good foundation for me. I don't really take fame seriously as a lot of people. I hype up myself because I've been famous from I was 11, supposedly. I worked with the gods of the music the protege of Bob Marley. Peter Tosh was the person who basically was so gentle in my first background vocal session, was his album, Nuclear War. And he was the most beautiful and gentle soul to me. So that is the foundation, and that is why, I guess I'm not hyped up about a lot of stuff, because that is the foundation that became normalized to me.
Okay.
For me. Then went to Exed, and boy, me think me that go UE, then in my life. I started going through the process of getting back to UE. Right. And boy, I just didn't want to sing out, man. So I start work with Gussie. Right. I started doing a lot of background vocals at that time. And then I started recording my singles. And it took a while. I recorded several singles, and then one, it just blasted out after a while. It just became incredible in the 90s with hits after hits after hits after hits.
Right. No,
but it wasn't new to me. It was new on another level because it was more on an international aspect, but it never did anything to change my psyche. I never felt, I might trip for a moment, like a 6 months, I trip, and I come back to reality. So.
Now, when you look at your journey, Nadine, and understanding that you're still here, you're still relevant, much relevant in the business right now, when you look at the journey, would you say then that if you had probably taken it more seriously then, or taken music to another level in transition between high school and Exed and those early 90s days, maybe things would have been a little bit different today?
I think that's how my life's supposed to work out. Let us weigh all of this thing and speak about it from a realistic perspective. Right. At the height of my career, I was being rumored and slandered, and people were more interested in the dirt than interested in my music. I was putting out music, and it's almost like nobody want to hear it because I'm supposed to be like this drug, in a drug-induced state or whatever. So people became more... when I reflect on it, I was like, why is it that something that is, people do it all the time, I never ever done it, and I understand it's part of the music industry, and I said I understand because my exposure to that life has been so minimal. I don't even smoke weed, but it intrigued me why people became so embroiled in the drama, and, it's almost like I lost, it was a sobering moment because I understand human beings. All this time, a track record of basically a protected girl going about my business, and then this happened, and people start to talk, and they got so involved in it, and nobody was saying, "But look at her." Not really, no go so. Or whatever. They just got so engrossed in it, and it's almost like I was being punished for something that I just didn't do. So after a while, you just you sit down. It was very, very painful. It was extremely humiliating. Right. But you sit down and you understand about people, and you're just like, whoa. And you just have to learn to go on with your life. I mean, I can't say I never really took it very, very seriously. Right. But then that just was a moment. But in the long term of it all, the seriousness and whatsoever, life is long. And I don't know, that was supposed, when you look in the journey of people, that was supposed to happen for my growth. I can't turn it back. I cannot be different in terms of how I handled it. I just learn to move forward. So I don't know if anything would have been different. I know I gave it my all then, but then people were uninterested because the drama more sweet, the system did more sweet. Yeah,
and that's all. And that's all you can give in on that end. You can only give your all. Anthony, as an entertainment reporter, when I come back, I'm going to ask a question. I want you to answer, Anthony. But Nadine, you were able to stay one step ahead, huh? One step ahead. And you know, Nadine, my texts are going off. A friend of mine just texted me. I'm not going to call his name. And I read the text. It says, all me used to hang out at St. Andrew too. For meet Nadine Sutherland. LOL.
Yeah, man, I spend my life without a boyfriend.
Anthony,
so you're still single?
Hold on. Anthony, the question is this, though. And you hear Nadine just put it out there. And you know, when you look at Nadine's work and when you go through the work of a Nadine Sutherland, you see how well Nadine Sutherland have really done. But then the negative side or the dirt side of someone's career that people take and put out there, how does that gain so much traction, Anthony? Because, I mean, this young lady has done well. She has certainly done well. And to hear her tell her story this morning and to hear her talk about the fact that how painful it was to see people drag her name through the mud, how does these things gain so much traction?
Well, I mean, I've known Nadine from a long time, known her from a distance and known her as somebody that we talk on an ongoing basis. And yeah, I think in today's, especially the reality-driven world, we try to, a lot of media publications, newspaper, radio, they feel that it's better to talk about the dirt. So you'll find that the stories that a lot of time make headlines are not the good things you're doing, but the bad things. It's easier to talk about somebody if there's some drugs involved or if they've, the negative aspects of things. And that is our part of the media, not just even about Jamaica media landscape, but it happens on the international scene. So it's just an unfortunate situation.
But
the artists have to find ways to sell their story, tell the good things they're doing,
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, but even sometimes you do that, people like dirt. That's something I've learned. You might have the wonderful glowing stuff and incredible songs, but the dirt is so much exciting. But then I understand something, Anthony. People, I said a lot of people are dissatisfied with their life. And almost like when you're a public figure, to find dirt probably is a distraction for the hell that they're going through in their life. It's something that I've learned and, accept and try to deal with it. Initially, as I said before, it was extremely painful. It wasn't really crippling because I was dancing my butt off. But, I went through and I still, I've still rose above it. With dignity, I should say, with a lot of dignity.
Right.
And just like move. It's just like you just move. You just learn to move. You just develop coping mechanism and you move.
Right. 1 second, Nadine. Breadman has a question. Go ahead, Breadman.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Sutherland. Breadman here.
Good morning, Mr. Breadman.
I have one question for you. I noticed that you've tackled a lot of different genres in music, and I'm wondering, what genre are you attracted to most? None? All?
Listen to me. I'm an artistic, creative person, I don't really see things from compartmentalized. Like, it's just like, it's music to me, and I just apply myself like that. And in Jamaica, we have to say that we never grow with compartments on music, Soul music just come on the radio, and you don't know where it come from. Reggae, calypso, that's how we grew. We grew here. You listen to the radio, and a man might drop a classical piece. That's how we grew up in Jamaica. So I approach music from that paradigm. My head don't see music in compartments. People see music in compartments. I just see music.
A young Nadine Sutherland, musical influence. Who were some of your musical influence?
When I was growing up, it was Michael Jackson and Junior. And I want to big up Junior Tucker because Junior was out there before me. And Junior Tucker started to sing. So as a child, I think every child in Jamaica seeing another child, you really just like develop an affinity. So Junior was an influence. Michael Jackson was an influence. I3, oh my God, I'm I3. Bless God I had those women that I was doing the little skank. I'm such a wannabe I3. Anybody know me? I am such a wannabe, wanting to be one of them. When Marcia had her 50th, I was able to dance and sing with them. That was just the greatest honor it was. See me skanking up and say, "What?"
And we were fortunate enough to be there at that jazz festival where the 50th anniversary of Marcia in the music business actually started, and you opened that presentation. And someone asked Marcia the question last year while she was here with us. when she take a look at herself, who does she see as the next? And I don't like to use the next Marcia Griffiths, but you mentioned the I trees. And we all grew up on the I trees. Bob Marley, the Wailers, and the I trees. Always seen Marcia Griffiths, Judy Mott, and Rita Marley. And it has always been, after those three great ladies, kind of a struggle for a lot of female artists out of Jamaica. Yeah, you have those who come and drop a hit song here and there, or a few hit songs here and there. But for some reason, a lot of female artists don't get the earplay, don't get the respect. And I think that's why sometimes even Tony Rebel speak the way he speaks about Queen Ifrica, in terms of she not getting the respect in the business. When we come back, we want to talk about respect for female artists in this business. Because sometimes in a breadman, like whole heap of action and a bag of mouth, you know? So
that song there.
Little action. That song there.
Now sympathize, woman want good luck every night. Right up. Love a girl, Nadine, step up.
She want a lover, man.
Action. At a bag of mouth, sweet. Don't be made the girl them broke out. Action. At a bag of mouth.
Well, you know, Anthony, Breadman, I think it's now our responsibility to re-establish. As a matter of fact, part of the reason why we do mic check is one, to reintroduce the artists to their old fans and introduce them to new fans. And certainly someone who don't understand or know who Nadine Sutherland is, when you listen to these songs, you certainly know that she has been around a while in this business, huh?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I hear the...
Mr. Turner?
Yeah, man, I'm just hearing that song and just thinking about the 90s when Nadine did all of these major collaborations, and she had her own hit singles, and it was a real prolific time for you, Nadine. Tell us a little bit about that.
But let's go back about the respect for female vocalists. Who is responsible? This is a patriarchal system, and the men, you like a Ifrica, like a Nadine Sutherland, like some extremely Tanya Stevens, extremely talented women who have superstar capabilities, and we are still in this male environment who basically sometimes want to limit us to like a specific role, and like in their head it's entrenched that you can go that far. When your talent speaks louder. I'm just going to touch upon, even when my rumor that I'm this big drug person or whatsoever, how many men were really involved in drug activities and nobody not do nothing like turn them nose upon them and try to crucify them?
True.
As they did with me.
True.
See what I'm saying? Now, you're speaking about a woman who has seen cocaine once in her life, who grew up a country, up a bush, in the music, out of the music, not knowing nothing about that life. But as one little rumor starts, people were ready to cut my throat. I have enough man where people know I see them do it every day and it was nothing. Why are we so hard against our women?
Nadine, I want you to hold that thought. The computers are going to take over in 40 seconds. Hold that thought. When we come back, we're going to continue with this respect question.
I'm serious.
Yes, she is.
This time I am serious. I'm serious.
Nadine Sutherland speaks.
I won't plead and beg you, baby. I'm tired of this.
Back in 3 minutes.
When you shout, you're going, honey. You aim, but you will miss. If you don't treat me like a person, respect my pride. It's your natural, baby, that my love will die.
Bread man, make myself your life is not a dead man.